Saute. Sounds fancy, sounds complicated, but it's really easy as long as you follow these 3 basic principles. So sauteing is really easy to do, but you have to follow these 3 simple principles to get that done properly and correctly. You want to use high heat in your pan. You want to have a little bit of fat, oil or fat, and 3, you want to move your ingredients, your product, or whatever it is that you're cooking, you want to move it around. If you follow those 3 things, you'll be sauteing just like a world-class chef. Alright, so I'm heating up the pan. You want high heat. How can you tell if it's hot? Heat it up. See how that water starts to bubble and boil away already? That's a hot pan. Now that it's hot, I'm gonna go ahead and add some oil. Okay, so now that the oil is hot, just gonna drop in the onions, and you hear that sizzle right off the bat. You know you've got a hot pan. So we've got high heat, a little bit of oil or fat, and what I'm doing right now initially is breaking this up, and we're gonna want to move this around. The idea for moving it around is so that you're not going to burn whatever you're cooking, but you will get some caramelization, and that's normal for sauteing. That is something that's going to happen. And sauteing is a good way for getting caramelization because of the high heat and the low oil. But what I like to do to help with that is actually just let it sit. You're going to let it sit, and all of the surface area that's on the bottom of the pan is going to start to cook and caramelize. Now, caramelization is the browning of the surface sugars found on these onions. So when you do that, you get that nice, rich flavor that onions get when you caramelize them. So I'm just gonna keep letting these onions go, and you can see it's starting to get a little bit of color. And now, saute actually means to jump. And you'll see a lot of people, what they'll do is take their pan, start shaking it like this, and then they'll do that. Now, that's nice and all, but what you're actually doing is when you take the pan up like this to flip, you're taking it off of the heat. And when you take it off of the heat, it's going to take longer for these onions, in this case, it's going to take longer for the onions to cook because you've essentially taken them away from that high heat that you need for sauteing. Now, if you want to flip the pan, it's not that hard to do. It takes a little bit of practice. I mean, I like to hold it at a downward angle like this. And what you're going to do is go forward and stop. When you stop, you're going to flick your wrist up and back towards you in a little bit of a circular motion. So, forward, stop, flip, forward, stop, flip, forward, stop, flip. Just like that. But you can hear, if you can hear it, you don't hear as much sizzle anymore because I've got this off the heat now. So I want to bring it back down, get that heat back up so I can start cooking this. But you saute and you're going to get caramelization like this. and get some nice color and flavor. And sauteing is much easier than you may think it is. See, sauteing wasn't that hard. Just a couple principles to remember, keep in mind, and you'll be able to do this in no time. Now, a couple tips about sauteing is also, you don't want to overcrowd your pan. If you crowd your pan, what's actually going to happen is that you're going to get excess moisture, and that's going to cause in this case, onions, to steam. And then when they steam, they're not actually going to caramelize like they are now. I don't have too much in here that you're seeing liquid, and there's still room here that you can see the bottom of the pan, and they're going to be able to keep sauteing and caramelizing. Alright, and that's the basics on how to saute. High heat, low fat, and keep it moving. I hope you guys liked the video, so please subscribe, like, and share. I'm trying to get to my first 100 subs, and I'd love you guys to be a part of that. Until next time, remember guys, kitchen confidence begins with you.